This is Richard from the Metal Cell Podcast. I'm delighted to welcome Emmet from the Depths.
Are we keeping you well?
Owen from Slung from a Tree.
Yes, sir.
Back, sir. And Roger from Curse Monk Records. How are you, Rog?
Hi.
Yes, it's great to have you here this evening. What is bringing us together is a fundraiser, and I'll just put you over to Rog, and he can update you on where we are in relation to that and what's it about.
So on July 17th, we're running the first Monkfest, which is a fundraiser for my niece Aisling, who on the 7th of April, while walking home from school, was hit by the wing mirror of a van. She was hit in the head, and she, as a result, suffered severe brain damage. She was lucky in the sense that the first car on the scene was a woman from the civil defence. There was an ambulance driver driving home, so he hit her fairly quick. The ambulance was there in about 10 minutes. Luckily enough that the helicopter was in the area and that there's a new protocol that they can actually take from the roadside. So she was the first person to actually make it to the hospital with this kind of brain injury. So the prognosis at the moment is anywhere from where she is now, which is in a vegetative state, to an almost full recovery and everything in between.
Okay.
But the reality of that situation, as worst case survivable scenario, is a vegetative state. Best case scenario is a possible full recovery. That there is all the variables in between, which adds a lot of hope. But there's also it is a serious amount of cost involved, and
so that's why we're doing this.
Exactly. So we're holding a fundraiser for Aisling. There's a lot of other fundraisers going on around the place for Aisling, which is great. There's a fundraising organisation called Aisling's Journey, which is being started up. So there's a lot going on. I have to say a huge thank you to Eoghan and Emmet for giving me the shout and suggesting this to me, because it's all the boys' idea.
Yeah.
You know, it was Eoghan and Alex wanted to do a Tombs and Slung from a Tree gig. And it has developed into Monkfest, so it is really the bite.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, like, obviously your head wasn't in any way thinking about metal or anything like that. It was all about your niece. So Emmet and Owen, in relation to the idea, how did it come about?
So it actually came about through, I don't know, most of your listeners will probably see this because of the way Facebook algorithm works, but Roger had actually put up a sponsored ad in relation to the fundraiser. And I was sitting, as most ideas I have, I was like hungover on my missus' couch, and I'd seen the fundraiser or the ad once or twice, and I kind of had a fleeting thought for a day or two about doing something kind of small in pharmacy, where it was like we could use Tombs playing Bloodstock and promote it as like a warm-up gig, and the lads bringing out an album soon, and just have it as a two-band bill, do it between us, keep it really small and everything. I threw that idea to Eoghan. And Eoghan now in Fairstone is the one who kind of took the trajectory, and it really, he was the catalyst now that got all of it to happen. I just kind of threw the idea his way, and he really, really expanded like mad. One thing from the get-go, though, I was really conscious of was actually getting the go-ahead from Rog to do it, because I didn't want it to kind of come across as kind of doing it for the sake of kind of like showing face and everything like this. I think the metal community in Ireland is great to kind of do the right thing when it comes to like fundraising and help each other out and stuff. And really, if you look back at the group chat from like the first ideas and everything, everyone who's been in any bit involved, it's really, really turned into a lot more than we thought it was going to be. And again, I have to give credit where credit's due to Eoghan now, because if it was just me, it would have just been like the two bands kept it really small. But everyone that's involved in it has really kind of added something to it. It's going to make for a savage day out.
Yeah, and it's a testament to Rog as well, that he's well loved on the scene and well respected. And just over to you, Eoghan, in relation to where you were. How crazy did it go?
Surprisingly, we kept it on the leash anyways. Like, but as Emmet said, like, even ourselves in Ireland, like myself and Alex will be friends with the guys inside Pharmacia, so we've often talked about putting on a gig in there, like, you know.
Yeah.
And because we only kind of got back on the horse since we played that set, The Siege, we were kind of saying, we may as well try to start a few gigs, you know, around the town and whatnot, try to get back, you know, into the swing of it. And sure, didn't conveniently enough within that time space, Emmet texted me with the idea, after seeing, Rod sharing the GoFundMe account. So kind of, like we said, we'd take it handy to start. Like we were in discussion with the lads from Pharmacia trying to sort dates. That was the hardest thing, man. Was trying to, I won't even get into it now, but like originally we said we'd keep it as kind of a Limerick thing, but it wouldn't work out with whatever way. So we said, fuck it, we'll do it as a Curse Monk thing. We went through other bands and whatnot, but the final lineup kind of came together perfectly because it was all, Molar Bear, ourselves, Frost, and Tombs were all under the same thing, which is Curse Monk Records, obviously. Like, but it kind of came together itself, really, like, because obviously we made a group chat, and that was hectic. Like, even when we added in the lads from Molar Bear and Frost, they were like, dear Christ, like, that was the reading they had to do, because it's just me sitting there being like, all right, let's do this now. Let's do that now. And it's the other two lads that are, okay, we do a bit of that now. And like it was not nowhere, shape, or form organized. It was complete madness. But that's
you're one of those guys now, one that just types out one sentence and then follows it with another sentence. Oh my god! Instead of like a whole paragraph, it's just sentence.
It's the fucking attention span, man. I can't like. I don't know. My attention span's too short, and I can't like put together a well structured fucking. I don't even say what I'm thinking there and then. But like, it kind of came together handy enough, because, as I said, I knew the lads in Pharmacia fairly well, and obviously between all the bands, we kind of know each other. Yeah. So it wasn't actually that much of a challenge, really. It was just trying to sort the date that everyone could do. Awkwardly enough, it's on a Sunday, but I reckon it'll kind of play to our favour in a way.
Okay.
But like,
unless there's a big fucking gag game, or Limerick playing that weekend.
Fuck if I know, man. Do you know what I mean? Like,
neither do I. I just said I'd ask you. It's Sundays. It's just gas season now. Yeah, but sure, you have them all in with the green jerseys anyway. Sure, fuck it. How bad?
Yeah, you throw a few coins in the bucket there, lads. Man,
There you go. There you go. So, Raj, were you aware of this lineup building in the background, or had you any idea?
Oh yeah. I was with the lads kind of from the word go with the group chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Molar Bear, and it's been a team effort, which has been nice. But
that's nice, yeah. And I haven't seen you, man. How did the move go? You moved to, was it County Waterford? Is it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was grand. Yeah, it was stressful enough as a move was going to be, but like just a home spot, so it's just falling into old routines and it's grand.
Yeah, nice one. And do you find a bit like, I mean, the Galway scene is kind of sporadic, but there is still, you can still walk around the town and meet heads. Like, what do you find about moving down to Waterford that's different?
It's a lot quieter. Like, I'm in the countryside, and I'm only on my provisional license, so there's not really the driving freedom of going into Clonmel or anything like that. So, but
Clonmel's a great scene, actually, as in just even music wise.
Oh yeah. I mean, the bands have come from Clonmel, like Sohora, Crowback Chicken, and there's a 12 gauge outrage, I think.
Yeah, there's many more as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it's grand. Like it's isolating slightly, and it's nice and quiet, and it's what we both wanted,
Okay, that's cool. And I presume as well, it's a bit cheaper than Galway.
Yeah, it is indeed. That's for sure.
Yeah, and Emmet and Eoghan, like, could you imagine yourselves moving away from Limerick, lads?
I tell you what, gas one. I actually had this conversation with my missus this morning. I'm contemplating, after final year of college, going off to Canada for a year or so.
Good for you if you can pull it off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the visa cost now seems to be that in flights, but I don't know. It's I had lived in America for a spell a few years ago, and between COVID and college and everything like that, I went back to college in 2018. I've been in Ireland now, like the last 5 years. It'll be 6 years now by the time I finish college, and it's just like I'm turning 26 on Sunday, and I was like, you know something, I'll try and
26.
I know. I'm a baby, like, but it's just I kind of thought stretch the legs a bit more now, on the good side of 30, like, do you know what I mean? And
I'd nearly drive it to the airport for the experience of fucking getting there. Travel while you can, my friend. Take good advice there.
And just the metal scene over there as well, like the the lineage from Canada, like Razor and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's my
Shotgun
childhood
justice.
listen all came from Canada. So I don't know. We'll wait and see now. I could turn around in 3 weeks and be like, oh no, that's not happening. But yeah, that's the hope anyway now for now.
Yeah, that's nice, man. If you can pull that off, it'd be great. It'd do you the world of good.
Oh, big time.
Owen, you moving
It's
down
not
to
something
Cork by any
even
chance now?
fucking- I haven't thought about it, Richie, in all honesty. Like, but
Yeah.
like, if we were to work it out, man, I'd say it'd be cheaper than. Because like where I am now, living, it's grand. I'm not paying too much. But if I were to move out and have to pay like accommodation in Limerick, it'd probably work out cheaper to go abroad for 6 months. Or a year.
Oh, yeah, of course. I suppose it's nowhere. It's like the rest, Cork and Dublin, all like that. Because my daughter is a student, and the horror stories about trying to get accommodation in Limerick for students, and I'm in Dublin.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's for some reason I think still Limerick would be cheaper than Cork to live.
Probably. Like you see some things out, a bit of a joke, but that's kind of everywhere nowadays, man, you know? But, like, yeah, still, I wouldn't I'd rather fuck off somewhere.
But you know, talking about that, about the cost of living and stuff, I'm going to sound like the world's worst salesman now, but it was, regardless of the day of the week that we got this in, it is actually a handy alternative for going abroad for festivals as well this year, because just everyone now, after the war has broken out and everything like that, and inflation is going like mad, Joe, rather than spending €200 on the ticket alone and then 400 on flights, and then you need about 400 spending money or whatever, €10 in a train or a bus, and you've got 4 of the best bands on the island of Ireland right now, like, do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that for a cheap plug. Like I said, the boys, I think, on yesterday, once we had, or not yesterday, last week, when we kind of had everything set in stone pre-announcement. Like, if I wasn't like a part of this, I'd be running into Limerick for this genuinely, like, do you know what I mean? Especially the location. Pharmacia is like probably, I would say, is the nicest pub outside the Dolan's in Limerick. Like, slap bang.
I've never been. I've never been.
You'd love it. I've seen like yourself and your missus when you go abroad and you have the cocktails and stuff like that. Nice cocktail bar in Limerick, like you'd jump at it. Like,
oh my God, great selling point.
Yeah. A boozy old spot.
And what's the kind of stage capacity there?
Think of the Casbah, but a bit more open.
Okay.
Like there's not. It's like a wide hall. Like the bar is at the back, so you just have the open space. You get me?
I do. Yeah. Cool.
So like you 100, 150 maybe. You know?
Jesus, steadily. Okay.
yeah.
The 150 no squeezing it, but 100 at least. Like you know, but. I've been to a few gigs inside there. They were definitely over capacity. Like that's right about get anyway.
So there's also a barbecue as well. So it's tenner on the door, a barbecue, and it's starting at 5 o'clock. Is that correct?
Yeah.
We're
starting for 5. Like Joe, come in then if you want. But like Joe, doors and will be Joe 7 or 8 ish. Will be announced. TBA.
Okay. So So there's. Is there even who's starting and who's finishing the set? That's not even been sorted yet, or?
Well, it's been talked about, like, you know.
Okay.
You can see we're very professional now with the setup of this. I'd say we'll announce it probably a few days out.
Okay, cool.
Like that, I think the main thing what we're trying to do is, given the fact that it's a fundraiser gig and everything like that as well, one thing that we're very cautious of is just creating a very kind of relaxed vibe. You can often go to gigs and, you know, doors are 8, curfew is 11, so everything's very rushed, very hectic. I think you can kind of tell just from our kind of manner of speech and everything so far, we're nearly over relaxed about this, because it's the whole reason we were kind of doing the barbecue and stuff is like, you know, when do you really go to a gig and there's lads hatching out, like, you know, fucking Big Macs or whatever on the side, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's Pharmacia now, in fairness, like they actually came with that idea because they have their back smoking area is a lane, it's open lane. So they often have lane parties that have fucking DJs out there blasting tunes and stuff, but like they said, sure, we'll throw on a lane party and a barbecue and whatnot, like, you know.
Class.
So yeah, it'll be good.
Oh, and Raj, what about from your side of things? Any news in relation to any of the bands? First of all, is there any releases upcoming?
Yeah, so this month we have Python from Ohio, which is kind of like a post-metal neurosis kind of crack.
Okay.
Definitely check them out. The first single is up online. It's very, very good stuff. Next month we have Tatter the Wall, which are a Japanese kind of noise doom affair.
Okay.
In September we have Voidot, which is our Costa Rican kind of cosmic doom band. We're putting that out with a Costa Rican label. That's up as well. Check it out, lads. It's heavy as fuck.
What are they called?
Voidot. Voidoath. We'll have Molar Bear coming up soon.
Yes, that's the one I was waiting for you to say. When is soon?
Soon.
September,
soon,
October,
I'd
November?
say no. We're looking December. It's kind of it's up to the boys. Like everything is ready to rock. Everything's ready to go.
Okay.
But they're down a member and they want to get that sorted before they release it, so they can just hammer up the gigs. Do you know what I mean?
Right, great.
We have what else? We have Bilecaster, but that's in the future because they haven't recorded yet. Then on Thursday we have Slothammer.
Slothammer, what a great name.
Oh yeah, you should check out their last one re-released. It's like
Let me guess, are they Doom?
in places for sure. Yeah. They kind of mix noise, doom, grindcore, and circuit bending. So it's two drummers.
An angle grinding.
Yeah, they do have some grinding. That's for sure. What else do we have? Yeah, I think that's it for the minute.
Mm.
We have Slung from a Tree whenever the boys get that over to me.
I just saw a pig fly inside the studio.
No, I genuinely know. And
Come on, genuinely now. Come on, genuinely. Yes, come on.
No, it's like it's done. The vocals, we finished all the vocals again, and not everything else. It's done. It's just Aaron's doing the fucking twiddling again, like, you know. But it is done.
Sweet.
And we've even fucking ordered shirts. Believe it or not, man. I know it's crazy, like, but
In this day and age, shirts and all are organised.
shirts and all, man. Yeah.
Wow. Fucking hell.
Here's hoping we'll have them for the gig in Pharmacia, like, so, you know, be handy.
Emmet, how many times has he said that to you over the last... God knows how long that the album is done. It's all together.
I'd say
Is
this.
the t-shirts a new angle for
The
another
first-
delay?
No, the t-shirts. I've faith in them with the t-shirts. The first time
I'll show
we
you the
chatted,
PayPal receipts.
I think the first time we chatted about a album was I just came back from America, which is nearly 6 years ago now. But I know the lads did start like seriously kind of putting things in place for the album. I want to say in 2021. Is that
No, it was genuinely. What happened was it was 2019, and we recorded the drums in 2019 in Pharmacia because the whole idea was it was going to be a trial and error kind of a thing in a way, like they were going to do it ourselves, you know, because obviously it costs a lot of money to fucking record shit. So we said, we'll record the drums because they're the hardest thing to get done. We recorded them in Pharmacia because they gave us the place to do it. Did that, and then over the space of time, we did like overlays, guitars, bass, whatever. Then the big sneeze came in, and that kind of put everything on a halt. Aaron worked away with the guitar, got it done. We got the bass done, got the vocals done. They got lost. A couple of other things got kind of thrown into the void, and it's been piecing together since, really. So, yeah, it's done now. Like, so. Believe me if you want, like.
Depends on your next answer. How many songs?
7, I want to say.
Thank Christ. If he said 3, I would have just thrown off the microphone and walked away.
If it was 3, it would have been 3 12-minute songs or something like that.
Okay, so that's okay then.
It's 7, but realistically, you could call them 5 because you know the way we kind of play, they kind of feed into each other, like,
Yeah.
you know. But,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's going to be the bones of 50 minutes, like, you know.
Excellent stuff, man.
Yeah.
The lads are just holding out like an afford vinyl. I know that.
Jesus Christ almighty. I was paid a nickel every time somebody said I want vinyl. Oh.
The backlog is insane. We were
I know. Sure,
12 months.
for fuck's sake, like.
It's, I think, who was it? I was chatting to one of the boys from Malthusian on an episode from the Depths about 2 months back, and he's working, I think, with Scobes in a vinyl manufacturers in Dublin, and he was saying, realistically, the backlog globally, it won't be like pre-pandemic levels of like being able to go and just get them pressed and whatever until, I think he was saying, they're estimating like 7 years time. It's really, really bad at the moment now. Like,
What a pity everybody started loving vinyl when it's too fucking late. Simple as that.
Even the resale value of vinyl now is, I remember when I started buying secondhand vinyls, you could get like, a secondhand LP for like 12.50, €15. Now it's like 22, 23 for something that's half battered and has been sat on, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they should just fucking whip up the unused vinyl, melt them down and recycle them.
Yeah.
That'd be lovely.
The goal is to avoid it. Like,
All those shit vinyl releases from
don't buy into vinyl. It's not worth the money and all
those
that
pop
stuff.
stars who had the cheek to grace us with vinyl for their product. God almighty.
4-album box set or some new greatest hits by ABBA that no one fucking wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Some
There's
ways,
vinyl
like
in Tesco, actually. I was walking in Tesco earlier.
I saw that up in Middleton. Yeah, you're right.
I was walking in and I was like, stop now a minute. I seen like the wolf tones on vinyl and like some odd enough ones. Like I was like, okay, fair enough, Tesco's, you know.
Straight into the cart. Lovely.
Yeah, I saw David Bowie. David Bowie was there on vinyl.
And the prices, though.
I to that, like, but
they were around 35 quid, maybe.
Madness, absolute madness.
Shocking money.
In fucking Tesco Roxborough, like, of all places.
The only scene that has a very respectable, I would say, cred with vinyl is the post-metal scene and post-rock. And Dunk Records in particular, because, shout out to Pat and the Smash and Skull sessions, man. Jesus Christ, those vinyls are just jaw-dropping, so they are. But they seem to be getting around the shortage somehow or other.
Yeah, I mean, I get an email every other week from maybe a Polish company or an Eastern European company saying, like, essentially just sending me their price lists and saying like we have a down to a 4-month turnaround time, which is great. Like when I put out Automatic Rituals, I mean, the backlog wasn't as it is now, but we were looking at about 6 to 8 months back then, whereas there's about 12 months now between, sending it in and getting it.
Yeah.
They had it to be in 12 weeks,
Yeah.
So I guess it's just you got to shop around and see where you're getting. But
I think, it's the small runs probably suit post-metal and the likes of us as well in the metal scene, that
I mean, there's some amazing like sludge and doom vinyl, and some labels are slowly putting that out, that put their money behind it. Gorgeous vinyls, but like, I don't know. I've never been the type to spend money on like a fucking green and red splattered yoke. Or just give me a black vinyl, that'll do me. Like, tunes. Do you know what I mean?
That seems to be very kind of common in death metal now. I know like plenty of lads that'll buy. Like I remember last year when Cannibal Corpse's last album came out, I saw lads online with like the regular black version, and then they had like the see-through blood splattered one and the green slime. Yeah. And I just think it's such a waste of money. Like, do you know what I mean? And I don't mean to be like preaching to converted, but like it's these fuckers you see them and they're never at a local gig either. Like, but they've just spent the bones of €200 on 5 of the same fucking record. It drives me insane. Like I can't understand it for the life of me.
Yeah, same.
Well, they'd go to Desert Fest or Dunk and come back with a load of vinyl as well. On the other side of it.
Yeah, so, true.
The lads from Worn Out have shifted all their vinyl. So now, if they're playing a gig, I don't know. I don't know. Have they any merch left? Even
I don't think they do. But I've seen them in Limerick Chromags, and like I bought a hoodie off them, and I was saying to them, and that was kind of it. They had left was hoodies, I think.
Yeah.
It beats carrying the fucking things around too.
Yeah. Nice hoodie too. Comfy as fuck.
I got the last extra large Nomadus one up in Belfast, which was nice. And shout out to the lads as well for
getting something. I was like, it's the last one.
And shout out to them for getting Bloodstock. I'm delighted for them.
I saw that actually. Yeah,
great band.
So we're represented quite well this year now, Bloodstock, between Tombs and them now. Who else is over?
The
it
winners.
Me now.
The winners, Haint.
Yes, that's it. Have they
who
said what stages?
The Dublin one?
I'd have to look at that. I'd have to look that up now. It's scarcely. It feels like forever ago that those finished. It always seemed like those finished like a month or so before the festival itself. It seems this year. Bloodstock is second week in August. I think it's the week after.
Yeah, it's August the 17th or something close enough to that. Yeah. We're in Brutal Assault at the same time, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I wonder who won the Dublin one. Jesus, we should know that. Fucking hell. Someone go on, Google it there.
You're trusting me, boy.
It's a hamster peddling there in Start up the computer.
Smoke coming out of fucking ears.
Yeah, the lineup that is put together for Limerick. Have a lot of those. Is this the first time a lot of those bands have played together?
Well, I know Tombs and Motherbear played in Cork recently together.
Okay.
With God Alone. They played in Fred's at one of Evan's Dead Cult gigs. I think it was the second one, maybe the third. I think it was the second one, right?
Yeah.
It was the third one. Slung from a Tree and Tombs have definitely played
Oh
together.
yeah. But
Yeah. I think
I'm not sure.
Frosh, though,
we've been on the same lineup, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if Froth have been to Limerick before, out of curiosity. No, they have actually. They've been, I'd say, since COVID.
Did they play the Siege? Or am I mistaken?
Did they play at the Siege?
I think they did, and maybe it was under drought.
Maybe actually, yeah.
Yeah,
because they weren't together all that long before COVID hit, and then they had to change the name. So I could have that wrong now, but yeah, I could be totally talking about as well. Now. They could have played her like 3 times, and I just mightn't have caught them.
Yeah, I certainly have missed them anyway. I know there was a Cork gig or a Limerick gig on, and they were playing, and I missed it. And they played up in Dublin as well with Zealot Cult, I'm nearly sure.
Oh, in October they did. Yeah, that was between restrictions for a while. I remember that because they just played Limerick not long before that as well. It's one of the seated gigs. I remember they did. Yeah, it was Zealot Cult in late September. We bumped into each other at that. They played. I think it was the Grand Social not long after that.
Yeah, and of course I had to laugh at the Cult tour bus breaking down from Belfast.
I God love them. The tour had went so well from every night was seeing posts with like making the boys being tagged, and then at the last stretch, like, do you know what I mean? And I felt so off because I saw a photo of them with like Barney and the boys from Epham, and then the next post I see is them on the side of the fucking 60. I was like, oh,
he's on the way home, eh?
I'm still recovering from the photo of Becky performing oral service to one of the statues outside Voodoo. I mean, we stood around those 2 statues. I think they're statues. Well, I don't know if they're made of stone or what, like, but they're there anyway. And we stood around there drinking and smoking, and none of us thought to give fellatio to the statue. Becky. They're twisted lads. They're fucking twisted, so there.
It'll be the basis of one of the songs now on the next album.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to, Rog, in the next few months? Gig-wise, being planned?
Monkfest.
Well, apart from Monkfest, obviously. Yeah.
I was looking forward to Primus, but they pulled out.
Oh, you a Rush fan as well?
Yeah, more so a Primus fan, but Rush are pretty good. I've never seen Primus live, you see. So.
Yeah. I wouldn't be fucking arse now with Rush, to be truthful, but yeah, Primus just to see him.
Exactly.
It's the vocals. It's the fucking vocals.
Ooh.
I mean, we're going to see Placebo. They're touring their new album, so that should be good old crack.
Nice.
We're going to see Dead Kennedys, right? Even though Jello obviously isn't with them, but like fucking East Bay Ray and Klaus Ruhreit playing the bass. That'll be pretty sick. Ministry and Godflesh. Can't wait for them.
Nice.
Fucking wait for them. As far as local gigs go, I don't know. I'm going to try to get down to Cork more. See what Bad Rep are doing.
I'm the same.
I mean, I know there's some interesting Bad Rep gigs coming up.
Yeah, they've Doyle from the Misfits is coming next month on like the 4th. No, not the 4th. The Soothsayer gig was announced for the 4th. I think Doyle is just after then. That should be savage. Stu's whole albums are very, very good.
Really? Yeah.
I didn't think I'd like it now, to be honest, because like I'm very much like a Danzig Misfits head now. They were my gateway band into everything, but yeah, it's kind of like it's a nice middle ground between like Graves era and Danzig stuff. I find it's very metal influence, like, do you know what I mean? But it's good. It won't be for everyone. Do you know what I mean? If you're expecting super catchy hooks like the Danzig stuff, it's not really there. But it's kind of its own thing as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Definitely good live anyway, from what I've read online and stuff as well.
And you win 2 tickets to see it at Monkfest.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Plug.
Yeah.
Oh shit! We didn't say that. Sure, we're doing a raffle.
We can't announce the raffle on the fucking Metal Cell, lads.
Yeah, but it's probably enough.
Can you announce the raffle winners, maybe?
So we're having a raffle at Monkfest, and Bad Rep were cool enough to give us 2 tickets to Doyle, 2 tickets to Emma Root Rundle, and 2 tickets to their 15th birthday bash. We're getting a bunch of signed books from Eddie Lennon. Keen Moose from Moose Electronics is sound enough to give us a pedal. Colin from the Bulga Design has given us 100 quid's worth of art. We have a 2-night stay in the George Hotel in Limerick. And then the bands are contributing some merch, and I'll have some kind of Curse Monk mystery box all going for the raffle. So that'll be worth coming.
Yeah, class. Jesus, that's great. I can throw in a few things as well. I have some Metal Cell pin badges, the Celtic Cross badges.
Really?
Yeah, I'll throw them in.
Nice one. Thanks, Richie.
Yeah, only gathering dust anyway, so Jesus, that's the least I can do. I don't think I've any t-shirts left. Yeah, I'll have a look. That's something I'm going to have to do, sort out 40 years out, do another t-shirt run or something or other. Get one of the boys, the local artists, to do something for me.
Exactly. Hopefully you won't get stung like you got with the hoodies.
Oh, jeez, that was rough.
Yeah, those hoodies, gone. Just like that. I should have got more.
They were class here. The design was decent. Colin did a great job.
He did a fantastic job, yeah.
Just, oh man, I remember that happened. It was mid-pandemic, wasn't it? Something like that.
It was before the pandemic.
Brexit came true when you got stung with the import.
It was, yeah.
It was all the fucking, what you call it, all the customs and shit, custom taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
That's a 280 quid or something like that. Sick thing, all right. But loads of lads have since got really good stuff from Pins and Knuckles, so it's kind of sorted itself out, really.
Yeah, the Dead Cult stuff came from there, didn't it? Yeah, that was savage quality. Now I bought one of those when I didn't put them out. I didn't get one of the beanies though. Just I was running low on cash. I couldn't afford. Just gigs were coming back at the time. But the quality of the shirts was unbelievable. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, I bought the shirt and the hoodie actually.
I got a beanie. Woo.
I can't wear beanies. I'm not allowed to wear them. It's just fucking. I can get away with these, but the missus says if you fucking wear a beanie, come on, like you're 51.
Come on, Mom.
This is the shit I have to deal with, on the stuff that nobody sees.
Well, hi, you should like. I couldn't even wear a hat like that, man. This kind of fucking skull, like so. I'm living. So that's the other side of the coin, like, you know.
And this now slung from a tree go pure Duck Dynasty on us, you know, with all the combats and the.
That's Steve, though. Steve does like an old combat pants and an old trucker cap, like, in fairness, you know. me and Aaron, you're lucky if we show up in a clean tracksuit, like.
But getting back to the Doyle gig, I hope that's a sellout. I mean, I thought the Pro Mags would be a cert, and it wasn't, you know.
It seems to be.
In fairness.
Yeah, it was what, 90% full, I'd say. But
I think a big issue we're kind of facing, like, that I don't know if people. I'm not an economist, so I couldn't have sussed whether or not this is going to happen. But I don't think we were expecting the kind of cost of living to go up as much as it did post-COVID. Because, like, I know in a lot of interviews, people were doing a lot of interviews, even that I did during COVID on the podcast or whatever. We were all saying that people would go to that midweek gigs would be a lot more common, and that a lot more people would be going to them, and just they are happening, and then people just aren't able to afford it, which is a sickener. Yeah. But it's a balls because we've a load of great gigs coming to Ireland in the latter half of 2022 now. Like between that and like I know in Dublin now, I just saw someone share the DME lineup for the rest of the year, and I was just like, Jesus Christ! It was weird to actually see a prospectus of gigs for like 6 months after the last 2 years. Like, do you know what I mean? But it's great to see. But hopefully now things start turning themselves around. People can get out more. Like, do you know what I mean?
Because see, Emmet, how are you going to go up to Dublin and stay there for the night? Like, you
can't. It's impossible. We try to sort it for Magnus from my outlet because my outlet loves Magnus. Like, and I think it's clashing with Garth Brooks. The cheapest I could find for one night was 227. I was like, oh fuck that! No. Like, do you know what I mean?
Nope.
Couldn't justify it. Half a week's wages just to sleep in a bed.
Yeah,
makes no sense.
Yeah,
fuck you, Garth Brooks.
I don't even if Garth Brooks wasn't playing there, man. You're still close to 200.
No, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah.
I paid ungodly money. Well, me and Aaron paid ungodly money to stay in Camden that time, like, you know. So it's a joke.
Oh, that was for Desert Fest, wasn't it?
Savage. Good
Yeah,
crack.
you didn't actually have to stay in Camden, though. Do you know? You could have got better deals, but
Could have, like, but yeah, I suppose.
because
Hindsight's
we
2020.
were close enough to Camden insofar as we were like a 30-minute walk away for turnstiles.
Yeah, you see, the way we wanted to play it was to be close to all the venues because, you know, it was the way it was in the split venues. So we were literally staying in Camden Lock, which is a
Okay,
stone's
I know it
which is
well.
a stone's throw between the Underworld and all the other spots. So
You couldn't get a better location than that. Like,
that's what I'm saying. No, it was worth it by all means, like, but it's just,
Yeah.
you know, when you're paying the money, it's a kick in the balls, like, you know.
Was it you, Owen, that contacted me about accommodation in Cork to see some gig? Was it?
Yeah, I remember I got on to you, man, because what happened there was me and a few of the lads had decided, Joe, we all kind of were off that we were going to head down to one of Evan's gigs, but we kind of left. We did leave it short notice. We only left it with about a week's notice. And I'd say in the space of a day, most hotels had either sold out or doubled in price because we had looked at it. I remember I'd say the Wednesday, yeah, and I said it to the lads, this is how much rooms we're looking at, you know, get the money together. And by the time I came back the Thursday night or the Friday, the rooms were either gone or they had doubled. And it, you know, genuinely wouldn't worth like spending. We would have been spending £100 each to like share a bed.
Yeah.
So between the four of us, you were talking £400 or £500 for a
Mental.
double bed room. For
I
a
couldn't
night.
believe it because I went looking for Owen. I was thinking, Jesus, he can't be right here with those prices.
It was bad.
And man, I even went down as far as Middleton, and it was just as bad.
I was the same. I was looking at places, you know, with handy enough bus links and stuff. But no, I think whatever way that worked out, I think it might have been a bank holiday or something. But yeah, it was rough. It was fucking rough, all right. But that's it. If you want to go somewhere, book it in advance, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a major problem now. Limerick is fine for us insofar as if we've got one of us driving, we just kind of take it in turns, like for the Cro-Mags, for example.
Yeah, you definitely were driving home that night, Richie.
Yeah, I did meet you upstairs, didn't I?
Yeah, we had a good chat. We had a good chat.
I had no sleep. I was up for 24 hours, man.
I know, sure, you were
fuck
telling me
that.
literally fresh off the boat, as we were saying, like.
Yeah, and continued on then Saturday night, Sunday
What a
night,
trooper.
and I'm still going, would you believe? Tonight is the first night where I'm kind of somewhat reasonable.
And even this was rushed, you could say, like, you're only after getting in the door, like.
Yeah. But
But that was a good gig, in fairness.
I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
They just bring it, don't they? Like that comes with years upon years of playing.
Mm.
He's like apparently he's
he's
playing
fat, like-
since he's like what, like 8 or something like that. He's playing drums since he was like really, really small. Seeing all those old
That's
photos.
right. Yeah, he was in his
Yeah.
aunt's band, I think, or sister's band. No, it was his aunt. I'm very sure.
And I love how he plays the bass, like, he just beats the thing, like, you know.
Yeah, what do you think of that style? Actually, yeah.
The bass, like, this is- but it suits that kind of, like, because it is on the more metal side of the crossover hardcore kind of thing, if you know what I mean. More of the metallic side of it. So kind of that punchy bass, because the Fiend is quite literally punching the bass, sounds good, like.
Yeah. Yeah, I went to Gary Newman there as well. Tall John was at that. Gary Newman has been touring since 1970 something or other, 78, 79, and he's only missed 2 years of not touring. So when you're going to see him, you will get one of the best gigs you'll ever be at. I'm telling you. Like,
That's a lifetime, like.
yeah. And he just brings it to the stage, just quality, you know. But
I'd imagine.
But like, I was just disappointed that there wasn't enough. I thought there would be a lot of interest even from younger folks to see the Cro-Mags, you know, just to see how they
Yeah, because
come
there
across on
is
stage, you know, just to,
there is a kind of, I don't want to say like listening, but there is a little bit of a punk scene now kind of emerging, but especially Limerick younger heads. A few years before everything kind of slowed down, like we had the Turn and stuff like that. They've broken up now a few years, but like there was the inkling of a scene, and like you know, I saw a few kids there now that would kids now they were obviously adults, like, but that I'd never see at metal gigs, but they had like, you know, like they had their own version of like battle vests with like patches they'd all made themselves, like they weren't buying patches and everything, like badges, they were making badge machines and everything like this. And I was just kind of looking, and I was kind of like, I thought, I wish there was more of this here, because I can only speak for myself and say it's like myself and a few of my mates now in Clare, like, do you know what I mean? We would have, hardcore would have been our gateway into metal. Like, before I listened to Motorhead or anything like that, it was like, the Cro-Mags, Minor Threat, Bad Brains, then earlier stuff like, like traditional punk, like the Ramones and stuff like that. And I'm surprised there's not more of an interest in that here. Like, and I kind of noticed now with
ebbs and flows, I'd say.
Yeah, it's like you look at like the age group of like the lads now in God Alone, and it's like, I think it's because kids now, like, they're obviously not kids, but they all have like access to instruments a lot easier than maybe 15, 20 years ago. That they're playing music younger, and like maybe they just get into more intricate stuff at an earlier age. Because just at least listen to the interview you did with the two lads there, like that was on last week's episode. I was sitting down listening to some of their influences and stuff like this, and I was kind of like, Jesus, you wouldn't kind of expect this at all. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, been naming off bands that, like, I'm a few years older than them and I haven't even touched off yet. Like, bands I'd be intimidated to dig into. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's amazing. And there is a kind of homegrown punk scene through Relapse promotions there. Jim, shout out to Jim there from Hashmaker and Dirty Casuals. They're kind of pushing hard.
They've always been doing stuff.
Yeah, so that's good, man, for the scene to have something like that as an alternative, just to keep a steady flow of people coming through for gigs, because otherwise it'll just die out if there's just only metal in a city like that.
Yeah, they announced something there as well, I'm pretty sure, recently, like another all-day kind of a thing.
Yeah, and they got some great bands down from Dublin to play in it as well. So I don't know about the attendances or what had happened there. But you'd hope that there'd still be good interest in it, because the lineup was quality there for that gig.
They seem to be consistent enough as well with turnout. Just from whatever, I've never been to a Relapse gig yet, just about work and everything. It just hasn't worked out so far. But just from friends that have gone and everything, the attendance seems to be consistent. So it's good for them. It's a kind of healthy kind of thing they got going now, at least from
And there's a good scene up in Belfast as well between hardcore and punk. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you just wonder about Galway and Waterford and even down Kerry. Like, what the hell is going on in these places? Just like, there's no interest or.
And not even to be weird, but there's like, I'm not even saying this to get laugh, but there's so many crusties in Galway. Like, why don't any of them have a bass or a guitar or something like that?
Galway had a weapon of a scene when I was living there.
You did that? Yeah, I wouldn't
know. We had a few Galway gigs even when we were starting, you know?
I mean, when Hexen House used to put on shows, they put on shows very
regularly.
regularly.
The first gig we played was a Hexen House show. Like.
Yeah, exactly. And then the punk lads, is it Galway punks or Ballina punks or Mayo punks, whatever, put on there's a lot of stuff going on in Galway. No, I can't speak for any more, man, because it's been 6 years, give or take. 5 years since I lived in the city.
Right. Okay.
But, oh yeah, no, I couldn't speak ill of the scene in Galway.
Yeah, but it's just we don't hear about it. Like, we just don't hear about it, you know, unless the likes of, we'll say, Slung or Slug are up there, or Tombs are up there. But
10 Ton Slug did that thing, sure, didn't they? That was the only thing I heard happening in a long time, anyways.
Yeah, I suppose with COVID and all, kind of shot everything in the foot, we'll say. I was up there a couple of weeks ago, and there was some punk gig on in Arsenal Gale. It was I didn't go into it, but it was mad walking past it because everyone was like 18.
Yeah,
you know, it felt like a fucking teacher or something. Like, look at them, they're so fucking cute. You know? Yeah, I don't know what's going on up there now, gig wise. I mean, I know like Sean from Slug and Ragus from Weed Priest were doing the Hexen House thing, and then that ended. And I think the last Slug gig I seen was under Promotions, which is the Slug thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're going to be like continuing on that as a thing, or did they just put it on the poster? Hopefully they'll be continuing it on.
What was the one they did? The all wall purges, is it?
Wall purges.
Yeah,
they did Wall Purges, and then they used to do the Dark Arts Festival, which would run kind of coincide with the Arts Festival up there. But wasn't linked with it, just kind of as the flip side of the coin of it. That was fucking great, man. You have noise acts and.
I was at it in 2016. I remember Cosgrove played it. It was unreal. One of the best gigs I've ever been to.
Yeah,
it was savage.
That was my first stall as Curse Monk Crackers. I signed Tombs that day. Yeah.
Oh, that was the gig then. Cool.
Or no, that might have been 2018 actually. Yeah, no, don't mind me. Liverpool wasn't even the thing in 2016.
Yeah. And like I had, what's his name from Baylor on, talking about the Waterford scene, and then Eoghan, obviously, from the Kilkenny, Dave Clear and Brian were on about the Waterford scene, which just kind of disappeared.
I don't know or never knew anything about the Waterford scene.
Yeah, and Dave Langan as well was on about it. And yeah, then Kilkenny was like mighty for a few years there as well, and Slave Zero and all those bands. So it's just weird that nothing ever came out of Kerry.
Yeah, that's true. I guess if you're taking like cities like Galway, right, Limerick, Waterford, Kilkenny, to a degree, they all have colleges and shit in them. So I guess it's just true. Starting bands, playing gigs, little scene.
Influx of people, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's when I moved to Galway. Like only Fumes and Corpses were doing a lot of gigs. There was a lot of punk up there, and then kind of it became a bit more doomy as the years went on. Yeah, a bit more sludgy, and then now a bit more nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I see him popping up now more regularly. I see that Sally's seems to have a gig nearly on every week, and
Sally's the key. You need somewhere like that as a focal point for people to gather and
exactly. I suppose in Cork it would be Fred's, would it?
Yeah, it would be Fred's. Yeah, all day long. Yeah. But,
like us and our Dolans, really.
Yeah. And then Fibbers in Dublin, right?
Yeah, there's just one kind of real main venue for. Well, Bruxelles was never going to be a Fibbers. It's a different kind of clientele altogether.
Yeah, and then what was the other one? The Gypsy Rose. That's gone as well.
Yeah, that was a great spot. Again, that was a different kind of vibe.
Or rock and roll kind of crack.
Yeah, very much so. But
So what I'm gathering from this is I have to open a pub in Waterford.
There you go now, man.
Done.
There's your niche.
Loop in with some Hells Angels and we'll be laughing.
Yeah. Myself in the wheeler.
You might see Henry Rollins rolling. When we were just on about that in a podcast last night I did with Strangers with Guns. We were on about their song I Am Henry Rollins. and I forgot, of course, that he was in Sons of Anarchy. He made an appearance.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, he was. He played the one of the skinhead fellas, didn't he?
He did, yeah. So, anything else then, lads, before we call it quits?
Come to the gig.
Come to the gig.
Yeah, please come to the gig.
Yes, okay. Let's run over it again then. So it's July the 17th. Fraud, Tombs, Molar Bear, Slung from a Tree. Tickets are £10 on the door. All proceeds will go to Roger's niece, Aisling Kennedy. You have a GoFundMe page running as well.
Yeah, for Aisling. Yeah. So if you can't come to the gig, please consider donating to the page.
Yeah, so I'll put the link in that in the show, and there will be also a raffle on the night.
There will, yeah. With a lot of fairly sick prizes.
Yeah, and a barbecue as well.
Yeah.
How bad, like, there it is.
Yeah, it sounds class.
$2.50 a band.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. If you were to add it up,
What's that? I missed that.
I said it's $2.50 a band.
€2.50, yeah, to see a class band. Yeah.
Good long sets too. None of this 20-minute blocks.
None of that 30 minutes shite.
that is one thing we should note is the sets are actually going to be more considerable than most gigs because of the length of time that we have. So everyone's going to get to play pretty much a full set.
Oh, and bring your protective ears.
Necessity. We're bringing lots of amps.
Yeah, we fucking are too.
And of course, you'll see a few of the local heads, hopefully from other bands, there on the day as well.
Okay, here's hoping.
Here's hoping. Yeah. Okay. Emmet, Eoghan, and Raj, thanks a million for coming on the show, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks a million for having us, and thanks for helping promote it, man. I really appreciate it.
Glad to help him anyway. Okay. Support your local metal scene and try your best to get to this gig. One more time, it is on the 17th of July in Pharmacia, Limerick. Tickets are £10 on the door, starting at 5 p.m. And as I said, it's all going to Roger's niece, Aisling, who we hope is on recovery. Please God. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much, Richie.
There's lads.
God bless.